Not meteorologist, I should just say Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Tuesday afternoon. Can't believe that it's already been a month since we started our latest streaming segment with Lincoln LTU. And so really excited to again catch up with Director Liz Elliot with Lincoln Transportation Utilities District. Liz, we've kind of rechristened our segment LNK Streets and Utility Beats, which we may have had a little help from ChatGPT with to come up with that name, but I think it's a good name. And again, basically what we're going to be talking about here as we head over the next few minutes and with further segments on down the line. How are you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me again.
Awesome. Last month, I can't believe it's already been a month, by the way. Time just
It
goes.
flies.
It does. But it's been a month since we talked. Again, last time we chatted, it was kind of just a get to know you type of deal, learning a little bit more about LTU. And today we're going to kind of maybe dive into some of the meat and potatoes of what you guys do.
Yes, excited to start getting in and unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure, start talking about winter.
Yeah. So yesterday, it was 70s. Today, it's 70s. Tomorrow, it's 70s. But, by the end of the week and the weekend, we're talking lows in the 20s, in low 30s, rain chances, maybe some snow chances. Usually I would get the blame for this as the resident meteorologist, but you guys held the press conference today talking about the winter and getting ready for winter. So I'm going to put it at your feet now that it's your fault that it's going to get cold this weekend.
I know, I was afraid of doing a press conference today talking about snow, just out of fear of jinxing it. But it's exciting to start planning and thinking ahead, and we all know winter is coming. So
It is, yes.
it's inevitable.
It is. The Starks are always right eventually. So, again, we're talking snow, and again, you had your press conference today. Winter operations is not just confined to the winter. This is a year-round deal that you guys are working on to get ready for the winter.
It is. I mean, our team is amazing, and in the middle of summer, June and July, when the last thing you want to think about is winter, my team is talking snow. They're planning for it. They're preparing for it. They're getting the materials on hand, and they're just making sure that when that first snowflake hits, that we are ready and prepared. And so they've been stacking up on salt. We purchase tons, literally tons of granular salt every year. Our store in nearly 8,900 tons of granular salt. And so we've got that ready. That's on hand. But the other thing that we really have been busy doing is making sure that we are stocked for ingredients to make brine. We like to call it our secret sauce. We actually have a patent received for our special blend that we make in-house. But brine is a key tool in our snow fighters arsenal that we apply to the streets before the storm even hits. And what the brine does is it helps prevent the snow and ice from bonding to the streets. And because we make it to order, we can adjust it and customize it to fit the nature and severity of each winter storm. Because as you know better than I do, every storm is different. You can't just plan for the same average snowstorm in Nebraska. So
sometimes it has a little bit of ice, sometimes it's a little bit of rain,
yes.
Sometimes it's everything.
Right. Sometimes the snow's just a little bit wetter and heavier. Sometimes it's dry and fluffy. You just have to be ready to adjust as the storm progresses, because what it might start off doesn't necessarily mean that's how it's going to end. So those are just a few of the things that we're doing in the off season. The other part is we're maintaining the snow plows. We want to make sure that they're in key optimal operations when the snow hits. So they're in the shop, making sure they're fixed and ready to go. And we're also making sure all of our technology is working. And we have now 13 sensors that we have embedded in streets that help us tell us what that pavement temperature is, which also affects how we respond to the snow. So it's a lot of fun year round. It's not just November to February for us.
I want to go back to, again, you guys sent over obviously some pictures for us here to kind of look at. The one I wanted to ask you about was this granular salt pile. Oh, dang it, I did the wrong thing. Let me see. Oh, hold on, technical difficulties here. I'm doing everything all by myself. Here we go. Granular salt. So this pile of granular salt, it's kind of hard to tell from the picture. Can you kind of tell me how big this pile of salt is? Because it looks really big.
It is massive. And so you've probably in different areas, people have driven by and it's kind of a big white dome, about the size of a Quonset hut if you're from, rural Nebraska.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple different salt storages. So this doesn't necessarily have all 8,900 tons, but it's a third to a half of what we would use this season alone. So it's a lot of salt in that photo. It
is a lot. I saw it and I'm like, oh my gosh. My first thought was my children would love to try and sled down this. And then it's just a lot of salt. And then again, you were mentioning the brine. So again, here's the brine filling station. And again, you also mentioned the brine ingredients. I want to ask you a question. I've always heard, and maybe you can confirm this for me. Is there beet juice in that brine?
Yes. In our special blend, we actually use beet juice. So part of the utility of brine is the salt sticks to it. So the brine's on the ground already. Then we sprinkle the salt on top. And normally you just get the salt that bounces off the street, ends up in the curbs, doesn't really help us in the middle of the street. The brine will help the salt stick. So it stays, it does its job, and we get to use less salt, which is better for the environment, for vehicles and everything else. So the beet juice is the magic.
I had always heard, and I was like, that seems really weird, to use beet juice. But there you go.
It's natural, it's sticky, it works wonderfully.
Yeah. And so you also mentioned maintenance of all your trucks and things like that. But you guys just last year got 12 brand new trucks. Is that right?
We did. That was one of the most exciting enhancements that we've been able to do in the last few years. We added 12 new super combo trucks. So, and this one it's beautiful, but it's not just a one job thing. It can plow, it has the brine, and it has salt, and they can do that all at once as they're moving down the street with these new super combo trucks, which is huge compared to the old trucks that may have just had a plow and either brine or salt. So this investment really allowed us to nearly double our capacity to apply brine and salt on arterials. So we're much faster, much more efficient, and really excited to have them back out on the street for the second season.
So, again, they were new last year, so did everything, did they all go, last year we only had, 14 inches of snow, so it wasn't a great season to, test out the new trucks, but did everything go as advertised, I guess, last season with those trucks?
They did. There's always a little bit of a learning curve to learn. They're a little higher technology than our trucks that were a couple decades old, but they really are so much more efficient. They ride smoother. They're safer for our operators as well. So I think overall, everyone really is pleased that we have them. We want to continue to add them to our fleet over the coming years. So we're excited to get them back out on the street.
So look for maybe even more of these super combo trucks in the future.
In the future, absolutely.
Awesome. So, again, you mentioned it today in your press conference, and I wanted to touch on it again when we had our conversation now. Obviously, one of the things, especially when it comes to winter operations, you have 2,600 or so miles of laned road in Lincoln. And that's again, that's a lot of streets. And again, not everyone's going to get plowed first. But customer service and getting everything plowed, that's a huge part of your operation. So you not only have all the trucks, but you mentioned today you've already got 5 contractors basically on board to help you guys with that mission.
We do. One of the biggest things that we've heard is not being able to get to work or school is one of the most frustrating ways to start your day. And so we really want to focus on getting people to be able to move safely throughout the community, even if we have 4 or 5 inches of snow or more on the ground. So 3 years ago, we rolled out the residential contractor part of our program. And of course, that was the year we had the historic snow event. So that was a good start. And then we've been perfecting it and refining it over the last couple years. So when a particular snow comes and we think it's beneficial to deploy our residential contractors, we have 5 companies out there that are ready and willing to jump in as soon as we ask them to. So we're excited to have them back on staff, and it just keeps getting better each year that we've been able to partner with them.
And so, one thing, again, as a resident, I mean, as a meteorologist, I'm obviously always tracking the snow and how much. But for residents, again, who maybe aren't as in tune to the snow as I might be or as we might be, how can someone at home kind of keep track and maybe like, okay, my street is coming up here or in an hour or two? How can folks at home do that?
We want to make sure everyone can stay up to date, and we've got a variety of different ways they can do that. They can sign up for daily snow reports on our website, and that's at lincoln.ne.gov/snow. They can follow us on social media, Facebook or X, formerly known as Twitter, I guess. And we also have what we call our snow tracker map. And this is a map that shows our plowing progress in real time. This will help residents if they want to say, where is the snow plow? When has my street been plowed? They can go there, see where the plows are, see what streets have already been plowed or where they're currently working. And they can see all of that in real time. If they just need to go to lincoln.ne.gov/snow, and the snow tracker app will be right there. And then for those who utilize our StarTran services, we do have a new app. It's Ride LNK, and there it will show you where your bus is in real time. That way people don't have to stand outside. They can manage their time better during the cold and the wintry weather. And hopefully that will help people have a smoother, more enjoyable ride on our public transit system.
And so I have that basically the snow map here pulled up on the screen. Yeah. So I mean, it's just right here. You got the snowplow tracker, so we could click on this and it's going to pull up a map. Thankfully, there's nothing on it right now.
Right.
But it's going to.
We only activate it when we have to. So.
That's right. So it's just an empty map right now of Lincoln. But otherwise, what would people see on here? I guess would it just.
They would actually see lines, kind of breadcrumbs is what we call them, of where all of the routes are, and they're color coded. So you'll be able to see, okay, they were there within the last X period of time, or if there's no color on it, they haven't even been to your street yet. So they'll have it coordinated time. There'll be a key on the side that will tell you what each route means or what each color means.
Okay. And one of the big things that came out of your press conference today that I think a lot of people will be excited for is right here, right in the middle of the screen. You guys have a Name That Snowplow contest.
I am so excited. This is the first ever Name That Snowplow contest that we've had here in Lincoln. And since our press conference this morning, we have had over 150 names already submitted. So I'm really excited that people are starting to get engaged. They're finding the fun in it because this contest, the goal is just to offer the community a chance to be a part of winter operations. So they can submit names for 8 city snowplows. we'll get those. And then once we have all of the submissions, we'll put them up for vote. So then the public can vote on what their favorite names are. And then we will narrow it down to 8, the top 8 picks. So residents have until from today till November 12th to submit snowplow names. Our snow fighters will then narrow the names down to 25 that then the public can vote on those top 25. And the top 8, we will announce on December 7th and then have the names on the plows in January.
So I don't know if it's, closeted information. Can you give me maybe some of the early leaders in the clubhouse from some of the submitted names that you may have seen so far?
I've told them I don't want to hear any names yet. I want to see them all. I'm excited to see all of the names that are being submitted and which ones are submitted several times. So they just gave me the number. I haven't asked for any names yet.
Undoubtedly, I'm sure we'll probably get a lot of, Husker references to our snowplows and maybe some local meteorologist, Ken Chimick, as well, that might get included in that. I'll be excited to see those.
I'm super excited. And I think it's just such a great way for people to leave their mark on the upcoming snow winter season. So,
and I'm not saying that we should do this, but I know we had kind of scheduled our next segment in November, kind of around that November 22nd time. Maybe we should do some breaking news next month, and we could announce the top 25 on LNK Streets and Utility Beats. I'm not saying that's a bad idea or a good idea. I'm just saying it's an idea I'll throw out there.
We'll definitely have to see if we can make that work.
All right, Liz, I also wanted to ask you, again, we talked about it, I asked you this last time, but I wanted you to give you another chance to give us some fun facts or tips or just things about LTU that you could share with everyone at home.
Just one fun fact that last year in 2022, LTU won the American Public Works Association, which is a national public works association, and received Excellence in Snow and Ice Control Award for our winter operations program management. And so the level of service that our team provides is a national award winner. And I think that just goes to show their commitment to the community and providing the best service that they can.
Nice. I did not know about this, so that is good to hear. Again, I've always thought you guys do a pretty darn good job of getting everything cleared out. Again, when you're fighting against Mother Nature, sometimes it's just a losing battle regardless. But, you guys do, again, I think a pretty good job.
We try, and we'll, she can give us everything she's got. We'll keep trying to provide the best service possible.
And last thing before we let you go for today, Liz, I wanted to run down, and I want you to kind of pick what you think would be best. Just the last couple years of seasonal snowfall totals. So last year, and this is the Lincoln Airport, last year was 14.3 below normal. The year before that was record low, only 5.1 inches of snow. But then you go the year before that, that was the year we had almost 50 inches of snow, and we had 15 some inches of snow one day in January. So I guess if you had to pick one of those three, because you said it, you guys get ready all year long for this. Is it almost disappointing you get ready all year long and you only have 5 inches of snow?
The snow fighters really are disappointed if they don't get any snow. So I personally, for my stress level, I like the 14-inch winters. I don't need 30 or 40 inches, but 14 inches keeps everybody busy and happy.
Busy enough. I hear you. I think I agree with that. Again, as the meteorologist who forecasting snow is my least favorite thing to do in this whole wide world, that 14 inches is probably where I'd like to sit. Liz, thank you again so much for jumping on and joining us today. Is there anything else you just wanted to talk about before we let you go?
No, I just encourage everyone to submit their snowplow names, and let's try and hit 500 names submitted.
Oh, I bet we'll get there. I bet we'll get there and more. And that will be, again, that's today through November 12th. Folks have to do that. And then the 22nd is when we'll announce it. And then we vote the 22nd of November through the 6th of December. So that will all be exciting things that we'll keep an eye on. Liz, again, thank you so much for hopping on and joining us today. Appreciate it as always.
Thanks, Bill. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Again, that was LTU Director Liz Elliot, again with another edition of LNK Streets and Utility Beats. We will talk to her again next month in November. Maybe we'll announce some of those top 25 names. Maybe we won't, but it could be something that we could talk about. So, again, as always, thanks everyone for tuning in and for joining us today. As always, keep